Hi everyone, another day, another review. This time we have this flipped over box. Don't be surprised, that's a recent release from Eduard. As you can see, it's called the Stribrny Sipy, which can be translated as silver arrows. And I would say that it's one of the most important releases from the Eduard, because it also features new MiG-21 PF. And it's also a limited edition, just kind of similar to the previous year Наши Врацеи, which was featured on Spitfire but wasn't available for anybody outside of Czech Republic. And as you can see, this version will be available everywhere. It will be available on the website, it will be available in your shop on the next street, so it's worth checking. This kit is really packed in really huge boxes. You can see here is my hand for the scale. It features plenty of the marking options. You can see them here. And what else? It features parts which can be used for the building PFM, PF or R version. There are 32 markings in total. And what else? Decals are of course printed by cartograph, and there is also special publication for this release. That's typical for Eduard top opening box. By the way, I really like this box art. It's kind of, let's say, fresh for Eduard. It's really nice. So this is huge box, top of the box. And what we find inside. I've opened this bag, which contains manual decal application guide, I guess, and still sell options, because it was contained in this book. This book, this is a limited publication which will be available only in this kit. And why it's interesting? Because it features plenty of interesting photos and stories about Czech pilots and Czech MiGs. As you can see, really nice. But why I was taking it out? Because there was special event on the E-Day where we could speak with some pilots. As you can see, for example, here, Milan Simmer. What else? There were also two other pilots. Here you can see Jaromir Richtarzik. And also there was here Yaroslav Dushik. I would also publish special videos from the interview, so you can watch them, even though they would be in Czech. But I think it's really interesting to see pilots, to see how they act, and I mean what they're talking about. So that's the publication. Really nice, and I think it's worth reading, absolutely. Then we have this nice bag with some manuals. There are two manuals. I would remove them and we'll check them closer. So, first manual is dedicated to assembly process. As you can see, it's typical Eduard assembly instructions. But what's interesting, because it's dedicated to separate versions. As you can see, PF, then we have PFM, and of course there is R. So it's very nice that authors decided to divide manuals straight away, so you won't be able, you won't have to deal with choosing the right options. You just choose the right section and you assemble what you want. And then we have marking options guide, which is also quite extensive. I mean, this kit includes plenty of marking options, so that's why whole marking options guide is fitted on the separate, let's say, book brochure. And then let's move to the plastic itself. What we have here is a clear sprue. which is quite nice. I think those parts will be used with PFM and PF version. I mean R version, but still it's very nice molding quality, and as you can see, crisp parts look like real glass indeed. Then we have several plastic sprues. Plastic sprues are notable because in one bag there are 3 sprues. Let's check them closer. Okay, so here we have first sprue, which contains tail parts with separately molded rudders, some minor parts as you can see here, and also some cockpit parts here, which won't be used I think because this kit features special P parts. But still molding quality is very good, and this model MiG-21s, almost all MiG-21s are famous for their ease of assembly process. Here we have containers for the R version. As you can see, all containers feature riveting and recessed panel lines. Attachment points are really nice. Here I have no questions at all. Another interesting thing that I have to mention is that this kit doesn't feature any armament sprues. You would have to buy them separately. Or you can just build or assemble your own kit by buying those over-trees versions, which allow you to build your own version and own special edition. Here is another tail version. I think this one would be used for the PF, because I didn't see this one before. Anyway, I would write it more, let's say, deep in the review as usual, so don't worry, you would be able to know how parts look like and when they would be used in assembly process. Here are 3 fuselage sprues, and molding quality, I have to say, is excellent. I mean, just look on those panel lines, just look on those clean parts, absolutely no flash. And the same on the other side. It's really nice. I would zoom it in, and now you see the detalization of the fuselage sprue. Really like it. There is nothing on the inside, just special spars for the placing some parts in the right spot, as you can see here and here and here and here. It should be very helpful in my opinion. Here I think air brakes. Then we have another sprue, which is also dedicated to the fuselage parts. Again, the same quality of molding, the same level of detalization. The only difference here is that those parts will be suitable only for separate, different version specified in the manual. The same structure on the inside, so nothing serious. I mean, those kits I'm 100% sure would assemble just really easy. And here is another one, fuselage sprue. Really nice. I saw already several complaints why Eduard didn't fit armament sprues, at least several of them, because there are plenty of space in the box. But I have to say that if you think it out properly, you would realize that it was done just to save the kit from the damage, prevent it from getting any possible damage, because when you have box packed to the top, it's really dangerous for the kit parts. Here we have new canopies for the PF version, As you can see, they're really nice, and I have to say they are similar to the previous ones. The only question here is maybe I think somebody was just touching those parts, that's why they're a bit muted. There are some fingerprints. Then we have 3 more sprues with wing parts, which are also quite interesting because you can understand that each version would get its own wing. I mean, it's really interesting because there are enough parts to assemble fuselage and wings, but there are only one set of small parts to assemble cockpit and other parts, so in total you would be able to assemble only one version. Here on the right you can see the riveting on this beautifully molded parts. Separation is done in this usual typical way when we have one bottom half of the wing and 2 top parts. And on the inside, top parts have wheel wells detailing. Then we have another wing part. Here, the same level of the quality. I mean, I have nothing to comment here. Just beautiful parts. Maybe you saw already on the exhibitions assembled models and you can understand, I mean, why this kit is excellent. And here is one more sprue. The same quality, the same molding, really accurate, really beautiful. And the last bag contains 3 more sprues. With small parts, and here is typical, they're quite typical for the MiG-21, and they contain really small parts, as you can see, which would be placed in the engine, wheels, I mean almost in every area of the fighter, of this famous jet fighter. Then we have one more. This one is more concerned with cockpit parts, as you can see. But I would recommend for this special edition, I would recommend to buy a brass-in cockpit. Of course it would be more detailed and of course it would look more beautiful on the assembled model. But still, even the plastic option should look nice. And here we have one more part. I mean, one more frame with parts, which is really nice. I mean, this is not just the words, this kit is really considered as one of the top Eduard kits and one of the best kits on the market. Here we have special masks for the canopy, and I suppose they would be used also for some other purposes, for some other parts, let's say. Then we have 2 PE threads. One is cockpit, designated only for the cockpit, let's say. It contains side panels. I would zoom camera for you. Now you see it properly. It contains side panels, dashboards. As you can see, they're even done into colors, belts, everything. And it's really nice. I mean, it should look better than the plastic for sure. And there is also one more PE thread, which is done in traditional golden color, and it features some external elements for the kit. I guess they would be applied in landing gear area and some other minor areas. And here we have there are 3 Deco Sheets. Biggest one is printed by cartograph, so you can guess the quality. I would remove it to show you how good it is. Okay. So here we have all decals. Let's begin from the smallest one. This one is used for the serial numbers. This one is printed in Eduard, but still very nice quality. I mean, even minor symbols, all those small dots are readable. Those are actually numbers, not just small dots. Then we have another one, which is designed for the stencils, I guess. It's also made by Eduard, but quality is also good. Plenty of various symbols, writings are given in Czech, I guess, and also in Russian. Yeah, you can read it actually. I'm not like pretending that I am reading it, it's actually readable. And then we have the biggest one, the most important component of this kit, this huge Deco Sheet, which contains plenty of symbols. Of course you would have some spare ones left, so don't even worry. And all symbols are printed with really high quality, so you can guess how they would look on the finished model. Here is a nice hole. Really beautiful. Those are printed in cartograph as it's written here, so quality is really nice. I think that's all for today. I really recommend to read full article and watch those videos from the interview, and I hope you like this kit and you would consider ordering it.